Hi, hello, friends. Welcome back to Night Court Narrative. Today we are on the third installment of the Lord series. We are discussing the sacrifice. If you guys remember with book 1, the ritual, I did give it a 5-star rating. The sinner, which was book 2, I think I gave it like a 3.5 or a 4. It was good, but it was really slow and I just kind of wasn't feeling it. But I actually just finished probably like an hour ago the third book, which is The Sacrifice, and holy shit, was it fantastic. So I definitely want to get into that. But first, hi everyone, I am Elvish. If you are new here, this is Night Court Narrative. I hope everyone is doing very well today. But yeah, I'm actually probably going to really skip a summary today. I'm going to kind of do a little bit, but this is basically, if you've read any of the Lord series, it's all the same. I mean, it's all the same, but it's from a different perspective. But this time we follow Tyson Crawford and Lakin. I believe that's her name. I think that's her name. I think they call her Lake, so Lakin. But we follow them to, you know, spoilers ahead. This is your time to run away if you don't want spoilers. But moving on, she ends up getting married to her, at the time, deceased sister's not chosen, but fiance person. They weren't chosen. She did have her own chosen that she had to get married to, but she was engaged to Tyson at some point. So once her sister, quote unquote, died, Lake ended up taking her place and they got married. It was a very cold, as any Lord book, it was very, very cold at the beginning. They didn't really want anything to do with one another. He actually married her due to revenge. He wanted to get back at their father. Which we do find out later in the book why that is. Lake obviously wants absolutely nothing to do with him as well. Very, whatever, self-explanatory. He's kind of the owner of this bar club thing, if you will, and forces her to work there so that he can keep an eye on her, which she hates at first, ends up loving. There's obviously side characters that try to ruin her life. We do end up finding out, very big plot twist, which I did not see coming, which was pretty shocking. Whitney, which is Lakeland's deceased sister, is actually alive and is married to her supposed ex-chosen one that wanted to sell her to, I guess, the black market. So they're working together to try to get Lake out of the way. They also impregnated her. Well, I mean, technically it was Tyson that impregnated her, but they messed with her medicine, which helped her get pregnant. And they did that so that she would become a higher price on the market, and so on and so forth. You know how the Lord series go. So that is where we are right now. And honestly, holy shit. First of all, holy shit. I think Tyson might be my favorite, and I say that with a heavy heart because you guys know that I absolutely loved Riot so much. But after coming from the Sinner, I didn't feel anything for Easton at all. I didn't like him. I didn't like his character. I didn't like his personality. I liked nothing about him. But Tyson is a precious baby, and I understand he's kind of cold. He's very standoffish. He's kind of a brute. He's an asshole. You know the drill. I mean, that kind of comes with the territory, and that kind of comes with his job and the whole ritual thing with, I guess, the cult that he's in. So I do understand why he's like that. But once you do see that he cares, like, he fully cares. And I really liked that. I really like to see the character development with him specifically. He was night and day from beginning to end. There was a turning point whenever Lakeland ended up getting kidnapped by every fucking person in the world, basically. He had a change of heart, really, and he got very scared because, you know, he thought that the woman that he married and the woman that he actually started to love was gone, and he didn't know if he was going to get her back alive. So that kind of turned the whole personality with him. He did turn a new page, if you will, and he became a very, very wonderful spouse and a very amazing human being. And I actually really liked him. I feel like Tyson was the type of person where he's, I'll go as far as say he's misunderstood. He, as I said, with the society that he is a part of, it is very cutthroat, if you will, and you have to be very on your game, and you have to be very cold and isolated because everyone is out to get you, quite literally. So I understand why he was the way he was, but I am very appreciative of the fact that we had that great character development. Wow, that great character. Holy fuck. I don't even know if I want to try again. That great character development. Holy shit. Oh god. And then Lake, to be honest, I really liked her. I did like her character. She has to be one of my favorite female main characters in the series so far. We do get a little peek at the other female main characters. Some of the main characters from book 1 and book 2 are shown in this. They actually become friends with her, and later on, I guess, business partners with her. So it is pretty cool to see that. They still hold the same personality as the other books, which, if you guys are coming from previous videos, you know that sometimes, I know in the Leather and Lark series, the Ruinous trilogy, whenever we do see characters from other books, they feel different and they feel kind of off, not from their own book. So having other characters return, we do see Riot in this because Riot and Tyson are friends, so we do see Riot in this quite frequently. They feel the exact same. They're the exact same character as their own books, and I loved that. Not too many authors are able to do that, so I definitely applaud the author here. I want to commend the character development on her end too. It definitely wasn't Tyson by himself. She had a lot of development too. She had a lot of trust issues to work with. She has a very fucked up family. Especially finding out that the sister that she loved, she basically watched her sister die, watched her sister come back to life, and watched her sister try and kill her. And so it was a very big roller coaster of emotions, but she held on. She came through. It definitely looks like she's going to be a great mom. As I mentioned, they did try and impregnate her, which worked. She became pregnant with twins, boy and girl, which is pretty nice, pretty sweet. But no, as a whole, character-wise, I really enjoyed it. And we did get to see a little bit more in the Carnage world. If you remember in the last episode, I mentioned that Carnage is definitely going to be one of the books that I am most anticipating. I love all of the characters that I've seen. I love the world of Carnage so far. So whenever Carnage comes up, I believe it's in 2 books. That's going to be the one I anticipate the most, and I am absolutely thrilled to almost be there. I cannot wait. I can't wait for that, like, truly. But yeah, this one, I will honestly say this one has the best ending out of all 3 books so far. I loved the plot twist with this. I loved the fast-paced plot, if you will. I feel like this one flowed a little bit better than book 1 and book 2, so definitely this book had my heart. It did start off a little bit slow, but I don't think it was the book's fault. I think it was because I was still coming down from the very boring Sinner. Like I did say, the ending of Sinner was a lot better, but it didn't start off that great, so I was very bored throughout that entire book. So having this book start after that one, I was just like, I'm kind of bored. I kind of don't want this series anymore. But I was very, very wrongly mistaken. This book was fantastic. It does definitely open up a lot of questions, and it opens up an entire world that, I'm curious on where we go, and I'm curious on the other characters and all of that. And I'm very very interested in seeing more from specifically Tyson and Lake. I know we probably won't ever see them ever again. I mean, unless it's in another book, but I really want to see more of them. I want to see more of their family, more of their duo, more of all of that, because like I said, I really did like Tyson. I liked what he was all about. Now, the downside of the book, and now this is not this book particularly, this is just the series as a whole. So I do like to be honest with all of that. I truly think this book, or I guess this author, takes things way too far. I'm not talking about the smut. I'm not talking about the trigger warnings. I'm not talking about any of that, which I know that sounds confusing, but I'm not talking about any of that. Sometimes doing too much is not always the best. So for example, I have it written in my notes. This one isn't this book particularly. It was actually The Sinner, but it happened again in this one. But like, too much can ruin the mood. So the quote was, "I'm going to have my first meal in this house." Okay, first of all, you already know what he means. You already know he's about to go and fucking slop up that kitty meow meow. You already know that's what's gonna happen. But then like a sentence or two goes by, you know, we're looking at each other, whatever, and then he says, "My first meal is gonna be your punani." Why did you have to add that? Like, we already knew, but like, you just ruined the moment. And then, and then there was one more part. He said, "Take that like a good girl," his thing. "Take that like a good girl." Okay? Time goes by once again, and I'm like, "Oh, yes, sir. Ooh, she's gonna take it." And then he literally ruins it by, "like your punani in your ass." Why did you have to add that? Like, I understand. Like, I love someone that talks dirty. That's fine, especially in books like this, because I understand that that's what we're here for. But like, that's what I'm saying. Too much can ruin it, because literally moving into a new house and having the first thing you say, "Man, I'm about to have my first meal in this house." I'm just like, yes, they're gonna get it, and then you ruin it. Like, I don't know. And it happened in this book too. I can't remember the exact case in this book, and I'm so sorry, but there are so many times where I'm just like smiling and like I just start blushing, and I'm like, ooh, like that was the perfect thing to say. Ooh, it's ruined. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, God, I don't know why authors have to do that. And I'm not saying that like ruins a book as a whole, but I don't understand why authors have to do that. So like, less is sometimes more, and in this case, less should have been more. But whatever, it's fine. Kind of on that same topic as well, the spice was not that bad. The spice wasn't bad. It was definitely a little bit better than The Sinner, but the spice wasn't as good as The Ritual. I do think The Ritual has the crown as far as spice goes, but this one was really good. Like I said, less is more. There are times in the spicy scenes where the author made Tyson basically say additional stuff that wasn't needed, and it's just like, I don't know, like it kind of ruins the mood a little bit. And I'm glad that Lake loves it, and I understand that that's what was setting the mood, but for me personally, it just kind of ruins it. I'm just like, bro, let your actions speak for themselves. You don't have to narrate everything. And I understand it's a book, but I don't know, it just it kind of ruined it a little bit, but that is okay. Overall, though, I do think this book was fantastic. I think this one... So this is where I'm torn, okay? I gave The Ritual 5 stars. I did absolutely love The Ritual, and I loved this one just as much. However, The Ritual did have better spice than this one. However, even though I liked all characters, like, I liked the first two main characters and I like these two main characters, I do feel like I like these two main characters a little bit more. So I'm torn, because I originally wanted to give this book a 4.5 star rating because of the spice. But thinking about it, like one had what the other didn't have and vice versa. So I really think it wouldn't be fair to give this book under a 5-star rating. So truly, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna give this book a 5-star rating just because it's not fair. If I give this one a 4.5, I feel like I have to bump down the ritual, and I don't feel like the ritual deserves anything under 5. So truly, like I think I would be able to sleep better at night if this one got a 5 too. So my final rating for The Sacrifice is 5 stars. I do really love this series. I am glad that I kept reading it because, I mean, the last one, it took me a while. It definitely took me about 2 to 3 days to finish that book, and it was not my favorite. The ending did make it better, but it was not my favorite. But I'm glad I continued. I do have 3 more books left, and then we are finally finished. I would love to definitely see which book comes out on top. I do really, really hope that Carnage takes the cake because Carnage, so far from what I've seen, I actually like the whole Carnage side a little bit more. It gives me very much of Lords meets Haunting Adeline, if you will, like the cat mouse duet. So it's kind of like a mixture of the two, or that's at least the vibe that I'm getting from it personally. So it's given me 2 series that I like so far, and it's combining it. So I'm really hoping that Carnage is as good as I think it will be. And then, like I said in the last video, everyone says that Madness is one of the best books in the series too. So I'm holding out for it. It's gonna be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say on this book. You know that I like to go fully in depth and in full detail about this book. However, when I enjoy a book as much as I did this one, I don't want to give everything away. Even though I did give you like the spoilers and the plot twists and all that, I don't want to give everything away. I want you guys to experience it for yourselves. So I want to leave some information for you guys to experience, and I would really love to hear what you guys thought about the book. If you loved it as much as I did, I would love to know why. Definitely let me know in the comments. And to be honest, if you fully hated this book or if you fully hate this series, I definitely want to know why. This is a very safe space here. I never want any bullying or harassment to happen. So if you hate something that I absolutely love, let's talk about it. I will not hate on you for that, and I hope you don't hate on me for liking a book. But yeah, I am gonna call it there then. So until the next video, I am very happy to have all of you guys here, the newer friends as well. Thank you guys for being a part of this. And if you guys haven't already, like if you guys are returning viewers and you have not already, we do have a TikTok page that is brand new. It is at the very end of this video, but it is ncn_podcast. I would really love to see you guys there, and go to the most recent video, say that you're from YouTube. I would love to see who's our friends, you know? But yeah, until the next one, I hope you guys have a very lovely day. Once again, I am Elvish, my little companion here. Her name is Violet. I hope y'all have a good night. Or day? Morning? I don't know. Just have a good whatever. Bye, y'all.